we have on Mr. Jason Bronstad. And in this episode, we talk all about his journey as a high performer, building and growing and scaling companies in the CPG world, the consumer products goods world, and how he's been able to still be a present father and a loving husband and happy hustle throughout. Let's dive into this episode of the Happy Hustle Podcast.
Want blissful balance in your personal and professional life? Great. What's up, guys? My name is Cary and I want to help you happy hustle a life you love, one full of passion, purpose, and positive impact. I'm a lifestyle entrepreneur, a professional model / actor, a digital marketing specialist, a podcast host, author, a biohacker, an eco-warrior, a martial artist, a hippie cowboy, and a humanitarian. My goal is to educate, inspire, and entertain you to live a life of passion, purpose, and positive impact. It is time to happy hustle your dream reality.
All right, Mr. Jason Bronstad, welcome to the Happy Hustle Podcast, my brother. I am super stoked to rock the mic with you.
Cary Jackson, it's going to be a hell of a conversation. I look forward to just grinding with you on this one.
Heck yeah, man. This is one I'm very much looking forward to as well, because you are a fellow front row dad, which means you're a dedicated father and husband. You have 2 kids, ages 13 and 9, and you have a loving marriage of 20 years, which is hard to say in this day and age, let's be honest. But you're also the CEO of Malk Organics, which is the fastest growing clean label brand, transforming the plant-based milk category with, as you just revealed to me, and I got permission to share it with you guys, you happy hustlers, over $100 million in registered revenue a year, which is crazy and epic. And it is delicious and nutritious, for the record. My wife is a super fan, Jason. I told you we got probably 6 bottles in it right now of Malk in our fridge. And that's really, exciting because I'm a consumer and fan of the product. And now I get to meet you, and we have lots of mutual friends and commonalities. You're an outdoorsman, a hunter. You're also just a happy hustler, man, doing it right. And I'm excited to share with the happy hustlers, specifically your journey on how you grew this massive CPG brand, but didn't lose your soul in the process. You're also a present father. You're a brown belt in jiu-jitsu, so you're a badass, and you get after it on the mat. So I like that. You just got the holistic picture. Now, everyone has their shit, and that's, we'll get into it, right? But the point is, you're doing it at the highest level, and I love to showcase happy hustlers like yourself. So I know that was an extended intro, and we're going to get into all that good stuff, but I always like to kick things off, Jason, with what is something interesting about yourself that not too many people know?
Man, as a 5th generation Texan, I love to live by the motto, if you want something done that's impossible, tell a Texan they can't do it.
Yeah.
Find a way, grind, make it happen, challenge the impossible, challenge the norms. And when you put your mind to it, you really can achieve more than anyone believes.
Dang, yeah, man. And as I just learned from you in the pre-chat, the FAFO, fuck around and find out. So the more you hang out with Jason, you'll realize he's conquering massive goals and just sharing the process and helping others in the journey. So we could go so many different directions in this podcast, but in true happy hustle fashion, we're all about systematically harmonizing ambition and well-being. Again, crushing it as an entrepreneur, increasing your income and your impact, right? But also being a present father, a loving husband, a man of God, a holistically sound and happy human, right? How have you been able to accomplish so much without losing your family and your soul in the process? If you can distill it down to the principle of how you manage your calendar, let's start there.
We'll get to the calendar in just a second.
Okay. Yeah.
And the reality is, it hasn't always been sunshine and roses. There are times you have to hit rock bottom. And when you hit rock bottom, you actually have that firm foundation to build upon. So if you're building a house of cards, take a step back and get to that solid rock foundation.
Yeah.
Whatever that rock is for you, if you haven't found it, if it's faith, if it's community, go find that rock to build upon. I am very blessed that I found that rock almost 6 years ago. And the process over the last 6 years has given me the opportunities to be here on this show with you today. Specific to the calendar, it is the thing that shows where your priorities are.
Yeah.
You know, tip of the hat to Vroman and Front Row Dads. It was one of those comments. It's like, man, if I went and looked at my calendar 5 years ago, even, it wasn't as clear where my priorities was, because it was about work,
Yeah.
work. And most of my life, I was grinding to where it would dominate my life. And now, you know, look, I know I'm advantaged. I have the opportunity, but your hustlers, they own their calendar. Look at your kid's school calendar. Look at what your family obligations are first. Put those on the calendar before you do anything else.
Mm-hmm.
My wife and I we've established a routine where we do annual planning, where we map out when are our date nights, when are our planning nights, when are our trips, when do we want to take trips. We do all of that before I even touch the work calendar.
Mm.
Because if I don't, work's going to take over.
Mm.
You want to put friction in your marriage? Let work take over. You want to put distance between your family? Let work take over.
Mm.
You want to thrive in work? Prioritize your family first.
Yeah, man. Amen to that. And that's why I wanted to start with the calendar, because I always like to kick things off with a bang. That is the essential piece that I think a lot of entrepreneurs are missing. They don't put it on the calendar and it doesn't get done because, you know, we have a funny way of always wanting to do more, right? I call it the more disease, actually, in my book, where it's like we get infected with the more disease as high performers, where we want more money, more followers, more love, more materialistic items, more stuff. And the thing about more is there's always more, right? There are levels of more.
Yeah.
And you have to exercise the power of contentment, I believe, in order to cure yourself of the more disease, finding gratitude for where you are in this journey and really appreciating the moment. And that means being intentional with your time, because that is ultimately our most precious commodity, right? So, like you said, being intentional with your family first on the calendar, then filling in the professional components second. What does that look like in real time? Talk to us. I know you got a lot going on with Malk right now, running this massive company. Your Inc. 5000, fastest growing company, I think, right now. Probably, do you know what number you guys are at right
I
now?
think we're at like 1026, I think,
Dang.
or 1036, somewhere in the just over 1,000 on the fastest
Yeah.
growing. I think number 38 in food and beverage, somewhere in that
Wow.
range.
So, I mean, so if Jason can do it, y'all, you have really no excuse, unless you're Inc. 5000 lower than him on the list, and maybe, but no. The point is, this is how it's done at the highest level. Talk to us real time. Like, you got a lot going on with the business. You got a lot going on with the, you know, the family life. What does it look like real time when you're doing those planning meetings with your wife? Break it down for us if you can.
Yeah. So look, we do the annual planning first,
Okay.
right? We sit back and we say, okay, on this annual planning, it's not just a calendar. We're reviewing our finances. We're reviewing our budget. Are we spending where we think we were? A few years ago, when we were doing this, there are two things that were underspent: date nights and babysitters. And guess what? We felt disconnected. Oh, wow.
Yeah.
I'm
Shocker.
disconnected because I'm not spending time to date my wife, and I'm not hiring the babysitter so I can go date my wife. So it took a moment of humility, but I looked at my wife and I said, Melissa, I feel a lot of pressure to plan all these date nights. It's one a month, but I still felt a lot of pressure. And she went, oh, well, how about we just alternate? You take 1 month, I take the next. We've done that for the last 3 years, and it's been amazing.
Yeah.
So don't be afraid to look at your partner in the eye and say, I need help.
Yeah.
Because it is a partnership. It's a marriage. It is who you choose to spend your time with. They got to know what you're feeling, because if we say everything's fine, they know we're lying. So that's one thing on the macro level.
Yes.
On the micro level, within a month, right? Every month we set aside 4 hours to get together and say, okay, because we've got a date night and a planning meeting each month. We don't let them cross over. The planning meeting is about understanding who's taking the kids to school. When is she teaching? She's a teacher, so she substitutes a lot. When am I traveling out of town? What events do the kids have? Who's taking them? Do we need any third-party support? Do we need the in-laws, the parents, babysitters? We do all that in the planning meeting, so we get aligned 30 days at a time because so much changes. We can
Mm-hmm.
set a macro framework for an annual basis, but as we go throughout the year, having those planning meetings really help us from a familial side to be aligned on what's going on.
Mm.
Then we've got one of those digital calendars in the house, and it is literally, we put our 3-letter initials for each one of the 4 of us. It's
Mm.
like, okay, whose event is it? What's going on? You know, making sure that there's clarity on what's going on, especially, my daughter turns 13 in December. We
Mm.
went ahead and called her 13 because she might as well be 13 or 12 going on 30. She's
Yeah.
just such an incredible human. It is so important that we're aligned and we've got clarity on what's going on
Mm.
within each month because things change.
Yeah.
Things will always change for us. And that's when we're flexible. That's when the communication inside has to line up. And then it still goes back to the calendar. We were trying to move a work meeting earlier this morning. So I pull up my calendar in front of my entire executive team, and we're trying to move some meetings around. They're like, hey, how about this day? I went, no, I've got a kid's school event. There's no negotiation. Like, I'm going to that school event.
Mm.
Next date. Let's
Yeah.
try
Yeah.
something else because that's not it. It has to be firm in your foundation on what's important.
Mm. Yeah. Yeah. And then you have to have the discipline to stay true to it, right? That's, again, a very important meeting with yourself and your family. And sometimes I know in my past, and even still, I fall victim to pushing those things, right? And it's to a detriment of my holistic happiness and my family's well-being ultimately. So you have to have the discipline component around it. Speaking of discipline, I mean, you've had the discipline not only in martial arts, but in, entrepreneurship to be able to really commit to the process. And nowadays, I don't know, man, it's like, I think everyone just wants 6-minute abs and, their business to blow up and be Inc. 5000. And it takes freaking time. I mean, how long have you been in the CPG game? Let's be honest.
22, 23 years now. 23 years I've been in and around consumer packaged goods.
See, okay. And just from a high level, because I know your backstory's out there on our pod, I like to get right into the meat and potatoes and not, hey, where are you from? What's your, origin story?
Sure.
That's, I want to hear the juice. So tell us from that journey, when you started to where you are today, what was the biggest misconception that you had to overcome, or the biggest belief system that was holding you back to get to now where you are today?
I thought that my value as a man in this world was what I did professionally.
Mm.
So everything I did was about chasing the next job, chasing the next title, chasing the next promotion, finding the next status symbol professionally. And if I did that, then I was an accomplished man.
Mm.
It was all about that.
Yeah.
And the reality that I learned was none of that matters if you don't have a firm foundation at home. I keep using firm foundation,
Yeah.
and it is just what's in my heart today. And I'm so blessed that my wife and I have built the firm foundation. And it's taken us a couple tries to get it right.
Yeah. Yeah.
It's you go through evolutions. I was listening to, I think it was one of your podcasts earlier, just talking about the cell transformation we have. Our entire body regenerates every 5 to 7 years.
Mm.
So we are truly new humans every 5 to 7 years. Well, the same thing happens professionally.
Mm.
That which motivated me 15 years ago, I don't even care about today. I
Mm.
was in the beverage alcohol space for 8 years. And guess what? 2 years ago, I quit drinking because it didn't serve me. It doesn't
Mm.
serve me. It doesn't serve my sleep. It doesn't serve how I show up for my family.
Yep.
We have to continue to evolve.
Right.
And if it's just a nose to the grindstone type of guy, I'll tell you exactly what happens. You're going to overdrink. You're going to overeat. You're not going to prioritize working out. You're going to turn into what you don't want to be. Guess what? I did that for the first 17 years of my professional career.
Mm. Mm-hmm.
Significantly overweight, most of them. Handling stress with alcohol and food. And guess what? I was walking around north of 300 pounds for 10 plus years.
Mm.
That's not going to help me be what I want to be and being a husband and a father.
Yeah. Yeah. It really is the recipe for burnout when you don't prioritize those other components. And, I'm not sure how much you know about the Happy Hustle at large, but we have our 10 alignment system that is, what the book's about. That's what our masterminds are about. That's the operating system that I live by. And it saved me from where I was, which is a dark hole of burnout from launching a tech company in New York City, grinding like a damn dog, and just burnt the F out, truly. And I since found a better way. And that's really a way to put the happy in my own hustle, and then just kind of shared about it. And now, fast forward, here we are, happy hustling still, 550 plus podcast episodes later. And, this whole movement around how do you live your dream reality without sacrificing your soul and your family in the process, and again, I don't claim to be the guru of shit, Jason, truly. I'm just like, I'm the reporter of here's some things that are working for me, take what works, leave what doesn't. And that's how I like to frame it with all of our stuff. With you specifically, what was that turning point? Like when you were at rock bottom, what was that moment? Take us there.
Yeah. Look, I'll frame it up. I have been chasing stability professionally, and I was running from fear.
Mm.
I was drowning my emotions in alcohol and food. And look, I nearly wrecked my marriage because of it, because I was always seeking anything but the right thing. And I'm so grateful that it happened because there was a bit of a wake-up call, and, therapy is a beautiful thing. I encourage every man on this earth, go get help, go talk to somebody. It doesn't have to be a therapist. You can try somatic breath work, which is personally one of my favorite modalities.
Yeah.
If you want to really dig inside and figure out what's holding you back, I mean, we as men compress, suppress, and repress emotions like no other. We are dang good at it too.
Yeah.
And guess what? It doesn't help us. Just because we're good at it doesn't mean it's good for us. So going through and being able to work on myself. And honestly, I was having a chat with my daughter this morning. We were having a real, or maybe it was last night, having a conversation about depression. And she's like, what is depression? Do you always feel that way? Is it permanent? It's like, no, it doesn't have to be. You need to be able to talk about it. You need to be able to work through things and directly address it. Now, here's what I love. My daughter, who's 12, almost 13, is asking me about depression. I didn't learn, to me, what depression was until I was in my late 30s.
Right.
I honestly, I was pretty damn depressed a lot because I was never satisfied because while I may have had my professional success, personally, I didn't like who I looked at in the mirror.
Yeah.
So there was never a synergy of like, hey, I'm actually succeeding in my business and I'm succeeding at home. And so I always had this yin and yang about what's working and what isn't. So as I eventually, and the headline here is, I learned how to love myself for who I am. I was 40 plus years old when I figured that out. And it's like,
wow,
oh, I'm actually an okay person. It's okay who I am as I show up. I know that I'm not going to make everybody happy, which I always tried to do.
Yeah.
But once I learned how to love myself and I learned how to create space and hold space for others, you're able to take that breath. You're able to actually go, okay, I can be in a stressful situation. I don't have to bury the burden of everybody around me. I'm going to find a way through this. So there's a whole lot that I just kind of went in like 5 different rabbit holes there. But at the end of the day, once I learned how to love myself, I was able to actually embrace success personally and professionally at the same time. And I've never been happier in my life. But it took that realization of hitting rock bottom to get there.
Yeah. And it often does, sadly, but it often does. I mean, you talk about really loving yourself. I think not enough men are able to be vulnerable and really own where they're at. So thank you for doing that live on the air, man, and being that example. I know in our community, like, guys come in with this shell, and when we get deep into the weeds, we crack them wide open, and it's a beautiful birth of emotion. And it's a blessing for me to be able to hold space and to witness it, and but to also go through it time and time again with them, so I just feel like, to that point, having someone to talk to, whether it's a therapist, whether it's a community, whether it's doing somatic breath work or any prayer, meditation, you name it. I think you should probably do all of them, to be honest, but
Check. Agree
yeah,
100% with you, Gary Jack.
yeah,
That's yes, all of it.
yeah, right. But I just think we need to drop the masks of masculinity, like my buddy Lewis says on his book, and really just own where we're at and be okay with that. Give yourself grace. Men, we carry a lot of weight and burdens. Women do too, but men are out there really carrying a lot of weight that I don't think women even understand what we feel as providers, protectors, professors. These uh, things that society almost imposes upon us largely. However, this is what it's been for many years. Hunters go out and hunt, and I think being at this new shift of consciousness in our society, it's been transformative for me in my journey to just own where I'm at, own what I'm feeling, own my emotions. I got this high performance coach, shout out to Joey Klein. He's all about the inner game, and it's been really helpful how it's transpired positively in my life, both personally and professionally. And it's, again, owning your emotions. Am I in a love-based state right now, or am I in a fear-based state? And it's one or the other. And you're either operating from the love or the fear. And then he has these 4 quadrants of emotions that you can categorize. Are you in a high energy love-based state or a low energy of love-based state? Are you in a high energy fear-based state or a low energy, right? So being able to categorize those has been very transformative. And how do I get to that inflection point if I am in a fear-based state to get back to love and operate from that emotion? Because emotion drives the mind, not the mind drive the emotion. So that's what reminded me. I'm on a little riff here, tangent, but you get the point. Any insights on the love or fear-based state?
So it's on the carrying of weight.
Yeah.
The challenge that I have to your listeners is, what weight are you carrying
Mm.
that you should just let go of?
Mm.
Because some of that fear that we're carrying is from past traumas that no longer serve us.
Right.
Like, there were times in our fight or flight responses, in that fear response, that we had to be ready.
Yeah.
But there's no longer that bully that's going to attack you in middle school.
Yeah.
When you have the ability to drop that weight, your journey gets lighter.
Yeah.
And you have that ability to shift to the love side. And
Yeah.
I think there's a lot of weight that we carry as men that we refuse to set down.
Yeah. Amen. Yeah, so true. When you do shed that weight, it's freeing, man. And at the Happy Hustle, we're all about the 3 freedoms, really: creative, time, and financial freedom. And my perspective is the only way to achieve those 3 freedoms is to be an entrepreneur. That's why I love entrepreneurs. They're my people. You're my people, man. Like, that's why I really just think we are the ones who shape shift the world. And for you and your entrepreneurial journey, I'd like to segue into it because it's been a heck of a ride. Talk to us about the beginning of Malk. Like, where did the idea come from, and how did you actually get it off the ground?
So I came in as a hired gun CEO 5 years after it was launched.
Oh,
So I'm not the founder. The founder was someone that wanted to transition her son from mother's milk to something other than dairy, and truly knew what consumers were looking for. And an incredible beginning. Took it from kitchen to farmer's market to nationally distributed at Whole Foods in 5 years, which was absolutely incredible.
wow.
I had I have the honor, opportunity, and privilege to carry it forward. When I stepped in 5 years ago, we were in like 1,250 stores. To put in perspective, there are 67,000 stores in America that sell plant-based milk. Here's the cool news. We're up north of 14,000, approaching 15,000 stores today.
Dang.
So we've taken it from 1,250 to 15,000 in the last 5 years, and we get to continue to carry on and push forward, which is fantastic.
Mm-hmm.
And it's an honor. And it's one of those honors that I don't take lightly,
Yeah.
because there are times in your life. I love people that start products from the ground up because they are fitting one of their needs. I was blessed to step into an organization. This is the first organization I've ever been a part of that I can look at my wife and my kids and say, you can have as much as you want without any fear, guilt
Yeah.
for you and your body.
Mm.
This is the cleanest plant-based milk that you will find. You can
Mm.
have as much as you want.
All right, my happy hustlers out there. Imagine a set of headphones that don't just play music, cancel noise, and take calls, but also optimize your brain and focus in the process. Well, that is what Neurable AI is all about. And these specific neurotech powered headphones, which track your brain waves in real time using these EEG sensors to help you improve focus, flow, and mental recovery. See, with Neurable's AI-driven insights through their app platform, you can actually get personalized feedback on when you're in deep focus, when you're drifting off track, and when you need to take a brain break. That way you can lock in longer, work smarter, and reduce cognitive fatigue. And the best part is you get the hookup for being a part of the Happy Hustle Tribe. You can save $100 by going to Neurable.com and using code HAPPY to save. I'll tell you what, they're made for high performers who are out there happy hustling a life that they love, both personally and professionally. And they fit with our brand mission, which is to avoid burnout and achieve that blissful balance. So I'm super stoked about this new tech that's out there and Neurable being a partner of ours. And I hope that you give them a go, especially if you're in the market for a new headphone. These are how you can ultimately increase your productivity and avoid burnout. If your brand doesn't look legit, people aren't going to treat it like it is. So whether you're building a biz from scratch or you're leveling up your current brand, 99 Designs by Vista is the ultimate creative platform for you to bring your vision to life. From logos design to app design to packaging to book covers, you name it, 99 Designs connects you with top freelance designers from around the world to create custom, memorable designs you love. We have personally at the Happy Hustle used them for book cover designs, logos, and now currently we're running a design contest for our swag shipping box. So that way, when you get a package from us, everything's branded and it looks super professional and on point. Now, you have two different ways that you can work with them. And basically, it's simple. You run a contest, let the global design community submit ideas, and then you pick the best one, or you work one-on-one with the designer who gets your vibe from start to finish. And because you're a part of the Happy Hustle Tribe, you get an exclusive $25 off your first design contest. All you gotta do is just go to 99designs.com/happy and then claim your discount and then watch your brand glow up, my friend. Do yourself a favor and just don't DIY your design. Let the pros at 99 Design by Vista help your brand thrive.
Spent 8 years in beverage alcohol. Definitely couldn't say that. I was in frozen Italian food. Look, pasta's delicious in moderation.
Yeah.
Packaged meats. I could go down the list.
Yeah.
For me in this journey has been transformative because I've had the opportunity to recast a vision and take this brand to where it deserves to be. And that's in every grocery store in America.
Yeah, man. That's awesome. I'd love to hear the growth and how you came in and been able to propel it to where it is today. When it comes to leadership of a company, how many people do you have? Let's just get
Low
a little
40s.
context for the people. How many?
Low 40s.
Low 40s. So that's a big, relatively speaking, for most entrepreneurs that are like sub 5 employees, or like at least, not most, but the majority of businesses are
They're
small
under
businesses.
10, for
Right.
sure.
Yeah. So with a team of 40, leadership is just pivotal, right, for the success of the brand. What has been a management skill that you've had to correct when it comes to leadership, and how did you do that?
It comes down to accountability at the end of the day. In the early days, it was about we just got to find a way to get the work done, and things would slip, things would fall off, we wouldn't get done, we'd get behind schedules. Like, okay, well, I understand that. There's so much understanding versus actually, you said you would do this by this time. What is the blocker? Where do I need to step in to help you remove obstacles in order to achieve the deadlines that we talked about? Because when you get really focused and you get really narrowed in on these are the 2 or 3 things that are going to move our business forward, and you put your effort there, the speed in which you move accelerates so fast. when you're looking at 100 things that I'm trying to do at once, nothing gets done.
Yeah.
So, and I am so fortunate. I actually 15 months ago brought in a president over my entire commercial business. I met him 5 years ago in Front Row Dads.
Oh yeah.
Right. So I tell people that I knew Ryan Soul. Ryan Rouse is his name as our president of commercial. I knew his soul. I knew who he was at his core. I'd never worked with him before.
Yeah.
But when I had a need, I knew exactly who I needed. And when you know someone at their core and what they're capable of, and I share that to say I was able to bring him in, and he over the last 15 months has helped me to even focus in more because it's about who you choose to put around you. It is that team that you build and the skill sets that you need for the next stage in your journey that will take you to where you need to go. If you choose to put whoever you want around you without that intentionality, you're dead in the water. You've got to have the right people on your team to go get it done.
Yeah, so true. I mean, do you live by the mantra hire slow, fire fast? Is that just an age-old adage that, because I'm curious your take there.
I did not early on in this journey. No. I wish I would have more, to be very candid.
Yeah.
It is something that we're trying to get way better at. But I still led with fear. It's like, well, what am I going to do if I make this move now? I'm going to have these things fall through. There's such fear inside. It's like,
Right.
I can wait a little bit longer, or no, I can coach that through. At the end of the day, you have to be very honest with yourself, and you got to look inside and say, is this the team that will take me to the next stage in the journey?
Yeah. When it comes to just the back end of Malk, I mean, I don't know. Feel free to just not disclose whatever's not publicly available. Did you guys raise capital to grow at this speed?
Yeah, so I was brought in by the board of directors. I had a short transition period with the original founder back in October of 2020, and I brought in 3 rounds in 4 years. So it was each year, it's, hey, what's your performance? Where are you going next? What do you need to get there? And a whole lot of conversation around that.
Yeah.
So those conversations are real. It's like going and, when you have investors, they expect return on their capital.
Right.
And guess what? As a CEO of a company with investors, my obligation is to return that capital back to them in time.
Right.
So it's not an overnight thing. And I'm very fortunate to have a patient board.
Yeah.
And here's the cool news. We turned profitable for the first time ever last year.
Let's go.
So
Nice,
we have shifted out of I need to go get an allowance, i.e. investment to go grow, to let's go reinvest our cash profits in order to help us to grow, thus further expanding the return optionality for those investors in time.
And that right there, what you just stated is a complex subject matter that I don't know if enough entrepreneurs understand. Like personally, I think raising capital gets glorified a lot, and like, oh, I just raised, $50 million. It's like, well, now you're technically in debt 50 mil, and people like put that as a banner of how much they've raised. And like, it's like, I'm working on the weekends. I'm glorifying the grind. This is glorifying the raise. Give us the real dirty truth about raising capital. Like, what do we look out for as entrepreneurs? Is it something is it a case by case basis? Is there a decision matrix that you suggest entrepreneurs go through? Maybe someone out there right now is listening. I think I need to raise, but I don't know. What's your decision matrix when it comes to raising capital or not?
It's an understanding of what is your proof point, what is the true measure of success for your company. We all want to say our company's could be the next billion, $1 trillion exit, whatever it's going to be. I'm going to go public and it's going to be worth $1 trillion.
Right.
How can you get to a true proof point?
Right.
And the fact that I like to lean on is this. As I stepped into the company, again, I stepped in 5 years in. We had national distribution with the number 1 organic grocery store in America, based here in Austin, a company called Whole Foods. And I'm looking at the performance of our product, our number 1 product, our unsweet almond. And I was looking at the performance, and that SKU was doing 3x better than the category average. Okay. Consumers are buying it.
Right.
And I have limited distribution. When I expand distribution, I should see, you'll have your top performance in the number one Whole Foods. And then as you go to mass market, be it Albertsons or Publix, you're going to see a precipitous drop off because those consumers in those stores are not as focused on health organic as a Whole Foods shopper.
Right.
Here's the exciting thing. Every time I went back to the Rays, I would share the numbers. And those 20 units per store per week went to 40 units per store per week, went to 50 units per store per week. And we're pushing a blended average of like 72 units per store per week now over the last 5 years. So when your number one SKU continues to grow, it means consumers are coming your way. With the way consumers are talking about the way they nourish their body, I'm lucky to have the tailwinds that we do. Because consumers are focused about this. They're talking about everything that we don't have in there: gums, oils, fillers, additives, colors, dyes. I have none of that. So I use Malk as an example to say, each time I went back to the investors, I went back with intentionality and confidence to say, when you give me this opportunity to further invest your capital to grow this company, here's why I believe it will be successful. It wasn't I'm going to go take this moonshot over here because I think it might work. It was with the proof points each year as we marched forward. It was with the true gross margin expansion. It was with the reduction in cash burn. There has to be the real results. So as you're thinking about raising capital, make sure you've got a clear plan. What are your metrics? Don't be afraid to say, you know what I thought was going to be great, I'm going to step aside. I'm not going to go raise capital and burn bridges, because the proof points that I expected aren't true.
Yeah, the proof points. That's a great concept. And being able to know your numbers where you can make data-driven decisions, that's been huge. Even just in my journey, like our business is more a lifestyle venture for me. I'm working typically about 20 hours a week. I'm feeling very blessed. We now are starting to grow this whole B2B SaaS play of the Happy Hustle because the market's dictating it. We serve high performing entrepreneurs. They've been getting great results with our program. They've asked to trickle it down to their teams. I have nothing to give them. And they're like, you need to build it. I'm like, fuck, I don't want to go back into SaaS, but okay, this is what God's put on my heart to really serve at a bigger mission. And so now we're helping increase employee engagement and decrease employee churn with our soul mapping system. And it's operationalized through software as a service. And, I look at it because, to your point, the proof is there. It's needed, right? Yeah. And our front end, we just started cold traffic in last summer, and we only did 2 months of it. Now this year we did 2 months of it, and it's our ROAS, return on ad spend, is 8.6 right now, which is apparently pretty good. And
that's a nice number.
It's not bad. And that's just on the front end. That's with none of our back end upsells. So it's like, now, okay, we have a way to acquire customers. We know our data. There's proof points to growing and scaling this business. Bringing in the right people, to your point, that's where I'm bringing in a lot smarter guys than I am. CTO, COO, people where I can stay as the visionary entrepreneur, and we can run this SaaS program to really grow and scale the Happy Hustle impact. And that's, I think, a much better way than what I used to do, which was screw it, let's do it, just full send, and let's do whatever it takes. And, and now, again, the point I want to make and reiterate is what you said, the data-driven decisions based on proof points. With that being said, where do you see Malk going? What is the future? Are you looking to exit? I'm assuming you have equity in it as well, so that you'll be able to, benefit as a win-win. Where would you like to see it, and where? I mean, what's the time frame around it, I guess?
Man, if I had a crystal ball, I'd love to answer that question. So here's what I tell everybody. This is what I tell my kids. This is what I tell my wife. Is I want to build a company that is sustainable for the rest of my lifetime and into my kids' lifetimes. So every step, every decision that we make is about ensuring that this is a sustainable company. This is not how do we hockey stick straight up, sell the company, then it falls off overnight. That's not what Malk is for consumers. Malk is the point solution for people that want clean, organic, simple products. So every decision that we make is for the long-term sustainability.
Yeah.
If there's a transaction, if it changes hands, maybe I'd be fortunate enough to stay on and continue to lead this team.
Mm,
We'll see. That is not my decision to make. I
right.
work at the behest of the board of directors,
Yeah.
and they have that opportunity to make a decision if they want to make a transition. But everything I do for my team, for the company, is about how sustainable is this as a brand. So in 50 years, if I'm blessed to have grandkids, they know that this brand exists because one of their family members chose to build it the right way so that it's long-term sustainability into the future.
Yeah. Love that, man. And that's really what it takes. Like, play the long game. It's not a pump and dump where you're just padding the stats. And I think a lot of, I don't know, I have a bunch of buddies in the supplement game and they just white label products. And it's like, I get it. Shout out to you guys. Hey, you're getting after it. You're growing brands. It's get a high top line number.
Yeah.
Product's okay. And then they dump it and then they move on to the next thing, but I think for me and you included, like, I look at the Happy Hustle as like, this is my legacy largely for my family. How would I want them to see the brand grow and impact lives? And when you make decisions from that perspective, it also relieves a little pressure, I think, because as entrepreneurs, we put unrealistic timelines on ourselves.
Yes, all the time.
Yeah. And we're like I just did this again with the B2B SaaS. I'm like, we got to have our 5 betas launched by Q3. It's Q3. We don't have them launched. We're still perfecting the product, or at least getting version 1.0 to a place where I feel confident to deploy. And that's okay. I'm giving myself grace. And earlier I would have just rushed it out and we would have hurt the brand because of it. Talk to me about playing the long game. What's the mentality that you wake up and operate from when you are making those decisions?
I look at the way I was raised in the 80s, and my parents raised me with the absolute best information they had at the time.
Hmm.
They also carried on, what they were taught.
Right.
So as I think about the decisions that I make for my family, so it always starts with my family in the house first. What is the food we have in our house? How do we choose to nourish our bodies? What are the available brands that we choose to support? What are the companies out there that are doing it the right way that we want to be a part of? And I want Malk to be in that conversation for every health conscious home in America, and eventually every home in America that wants a plant-based milk.
Yeah.
Look, I don't pretend to say that every household will ever drink plant-based milk. That's okay. It's size comparison, big dairy. Dairy's a $10 billion business in America. Plant-based dairy is a $3 billion in refrigerated. Cool. They're 3 times the size. Guess what? There's still at least a third of the population that are looking for clean, simple, organic. And for those households, let's just say it's a third of the households. There's 100 million people in America that are looking for something.
Yeah.
So what decisions can I make to give them the best option? We're talking about the health and wellness of a third of Americans. And if they're choosing to drink some of the other plant-based milks that have gums, oils, fillers, carrageenans, all the other natural flavors, if I can give them something to when their kids are healthier, their grandkids are healthier, where's our society at in 50 years and 100 years? We are the most obese country in America. Guess what? In the world, America is. We're obese. Yeah. What choices can we make? How can we change our food supply to shift that? And what decisions can our small company make to be a part of that?
Yeah, I love that.
It's bigger than us.
Yeah, it is. And you definitely have like good karma on your side, and God and RFK Jr. and a bunch of other things going, trending towards just a healthier planet, really being able to, support this movement. That's, again, important for entrepreneurs to look at in the macro of like, what are the trends right now? This is the trend of becoming more health conscious, looking at the label, understanding what we're putting down our pie hole and the effects of it. I don't think enough people understand that it's all fuel. And if you are not putting good, healthy things in your body, you're going to suffer. Your energy will suffer, and your business and your brand and your lifestyle will suffer.
And
It's
Look,
powerful, man.
I'm on my 6th company that I've been a part of as a full-time employee. And this is the first one where I've taken a step back and say, is it the right company for my family? Is it the right company for society? Is it a company that I'm proud to be a part of based on where I am in my health journey?
Yep.
So when there's alignment in what you are passionate about, when there's alignment in how you're choosing to nourish your family, when there's alignment in how you choose to lead people, magic can happen there. I spent the first 5 companies, it was how fast can we grow? How fast can we cut costs? And it was kill or be killed in those companies.
Right.
How can we do things differently and still succeed? And when you do, it's a lot of fun, man. It is a lot of fun when you have the right people around you, with the product you believe in. You talk to people like we got on the pre-chat and you're like, dude, my wife is a huge fan. I'm like, that just brought a smile to my face.
Yeah.
Because we're impacting lives.
You
said your son drinks it. I'm like, yes.
Yeah.
I love that.
Yeah. I mean,
That's
I told
exciting.
you, my wife literally calls Whole Foods to make sure she has the coconut flavor in stock before she goes. I'm like, that's
Set it all
dedication,
aside.
bro. Yeah, that's dedication. So yeah, it's awesome what you're building. One question more on the company itself, if I may. When it comes to culture, growing and scaling a business, oftentimes the culture can get lost in the process largely. What do you do to address that? What is the plan to retain the Malk culture? There you go.
Dream
Okay.
journals, baby.
Dream journals. Is that
As
Dane stuff?
100%.
Oh, Dane's the man. Love that guy.
So
Yeah.
in my first all hands meeting in December of 21, we had 8 people. I brought Espigard in.
Nice.
And we instituted the dreams mentality within Malk.
Love it.
And for those that don't know, it's, what is important to you with regards to travel, adventure, personal wealth, faith, finances. There's 8 or 9 different categories that you go through: legacy, charity, health, financial, career, adventure. So we openly share those with each other. Because at the end of the day, we show up to do a job, but why do we do the job? Because there's things that we want as humans.
Right.
So let's celebrate what we want as humans when we do that.
Yeah.
We had a post just the other day. One of our marketing team members posted on our Slack channel the most beautiful picture of this garden, because her dream was to have a fruitful garden. And guess what? There was some envy in there. There was some admiration. There was some praise. And we shared that. There were people that, shared when they got pregnant. That was their dream. We're going to celebrate that. We're going to celebrate the human that is doing things that is important to them. We don't all have the same dream. No one ever has the same dream. But what can you do as an organization to lift up, support, and recognize those dreams? That's when it becomes special. That's when it becomes exciting.
Yeah.
You can have fun doing that. One of our earliest hires that I brought in early 21 had a dream of having a house on the shore in New Jersey. And when they accomplished that dream, we celebrated it, right? Yeah. It is one of the things, because we continue to grind at work. We put in the hours here. It's not like we work 5 hours and we're done. No, we work our butts off. And we play hard too. And we celebrate wins. We celebrate when people do things that they want to do. My wife and I just were blessed to celebrate our 20th wedding anniversary. That was a win.
Let's go.
And with that win, what our dream was to go hiking in Switzerland. Nice. Now, if you'd asked me 20 years ago, it's like, are you going to want to go hiking for your 20th? I'm like, no, I'm going to go to the beach and get drunk. That's probably what I would have said 20 years ago.
Yeah.
But we went and did 2 adventurous hikes. We did the Stews Ridge hike, and then we did the Via Ferrata in Murin.
Oh, cool. Yeah,
the
my
Via
brother's been there. Yeah.
It is like you've got to clip in. You're hanging off the side of a 2,000-foot cliff.
Yeah.
Never in my life did I think that would be what we wanted to do. And guess what? We conquered that together.
Heck yeah.
And that was awesome. And I shared pictures of that, and the team celebrated. And it's just, I've actually got a picture on my wall over here from one of our hikes. And it's just that great reminder that, hey, because of what I do here, I got to do that. that's what the dreams mentality is all about
Yeah.
within Malk. And I'm grateful for Dane.
Yeah. Yeah, man. That's awesome. Yeah, the Dream Journal. Shout out to Dane. If you haven't went down the rabbit hole of his stuff, it's worthwhile. And yeah, he did a speech to our Happy Hustle Club as well, talking about dreams and whatnot. So it's important to celebrate the journey. At the end of the day, like, that's what it's all about. Everyone talks about the destination and, you know, getting to the top of the mountain. But the problem is you just move the goalpost. Once you get there, you move it a little bit further and then you go to the next thing and you're like, oh, but what about this thing? You got to enjoy the journey. I mean, again, I mentioned I was out bow hunting for elk this weekend and I was thinking to myself, man, it'd be great to just have this big bull show up right here. But that's not the point. Like I could have brought 3 elks with all the gear and time I've invested, from an elk farm in Idaho that I know of, right? Or elk ranch per se. But I'm like, that's not the point. I'm getting connected to my food source. I'm not a trophy hunter. I'm not bloodthirsty killer. I do it for the journey, for the experience, to be out in the mountains, to digitally disconnect, to optimize my health, to practice mindful spirituality and connect to a higher power while out in the mountains and to push myself, right? Passionate hobbies in a challenging hobby. My point is everyone just needs to think about what that is for them that they can celebrate right now and celebrate with your team too, especially as leaders. Like that's where you build that culture and celebrating others. I love that you mentioned that, man. This has been amazing. I love talking to you, Jason. Where can people go to learn more about Malk? Maybe they never tried it. Where's the best place? Give us some links
Yeah.
or shout outs there.
So the headline, go to our new improved website. We just launched it a few weeks ago,
It's beautiful, by the way.
malkorganics.com.
I was actually very impressed by it.
It is such a beautiful representation of us
Yeah.
as a lifestyle brand.
Yeah.
It gives you the feel of who we are.
100%.
There's a product locator on there. You can follow us on Instagram at Malk Organics, LinkedIn at Malk Organics. You can follow me there too if you want, at Jason Bronstad.
Nice.
Reach out to us, engage with us. Tell us what you want to see. You've mentioned the coconut a couple times. We just launched that back in March and consumers are loving it. It is a fantastic product.
Yeah.
We're excited because we continue to engage with our consumers and showcase what's going on, what's new, what's different. We've got our pumpkin spice that's hitting the market right now. We've got our holiday nog with the new packaging is coming around the corner. So check out Malk Organics. Even if you're a dairy only person, give it a try.
Yeah.
I'd be surprised at how much you enjoy it.
Yeah, for real. It's delicious and nutritious. And you just got into Costco too, right? I mean,
so we're in a couple of Costco regions. Yeah. We're in
Yeah.
Costco, Texas. We got some action going in Costco, LA. We'll have a few clubs in the Northeast, a little wink and nod to a few of my friends up there that way that we're going to continue to lean into and go drive success because we believe that consumers, no matter where you shop for plant-based milks, Malk should be there for you.
Amen for that to that, and I hope you get into Costco Bozeman because I'd buy the shit out of that. And I know my wife would too. So yeah, man. Well, this has been awesome. I do want to put you through just some of our Happy Hustle hack and rapid fire round questions, and this is really just something uniquely Jason. Like when I talk about a Happy Hustle hack, it's typically a tip, a tool, a tactic when it comes to specific areas of life. Let's talk about health first and foremost. What is something uniquely, Jason, when it comes to health that you could deem a Happy Hustle hack?
Train jujitsu. It's the only place in the world that I've ever spent time where I don't think about work. I actually have to think about breathing and living against fighting another human, man, woman, child, doesn't matter.
Yeah.
You can actually work your body out and free your mind at the same time.
Yeah, love that, man. And you've been doing it since 98, you said, right?
No, since 2018.
Oh, 2018. So excuse me.
2018.
Got it. Yeah, I was like 98, dang. But 2018, that's still impressive and a lot of commitment. When it comes to money, something uniquely, Jason, something that you do to save, spend, and invest wisely. A Happy Hustle hack there for us.
So I've got 2 kids and teaching them financial freedom is one of the most important things.
Yeah.
So when they add value in our house, they earn money. They don't get an allowance. When they add value, they earn money. If they go to friends, gatherings, parties, whatever, they're responsible for buying the gifts. My daughter wanted a sweatshirt the other day. Guess what? That just came out of her savings account because dad's not buying it.
Love that. Yeah. And it's such an important lesson too for the kids and for everybody. When it comes to spirituality, a happy hustle hack there? I mean, I'm not necessarily religious. I'm just very spiritual. I believe in seeking truth in every capacity. But I'm curious for you, what do you do specifically to connect to a higher power? Is there a happy hustle hack there for mindful spirituality?
Yeah, silence, whether I'm in my church community and just listening to the word of God, or if I happen to just be out in nature, or the reality is a lot of my connection really comes through the pain of being in a cold plunge. When I can
Yeah.
sit there and zone out and truly connect with the inside,
Mm,
I can actually hear what needs to be heard.
yeah. Amen to that, man. And one last happy hustle hack question. When it comes to your relationship, specifically as an entrepreneur, anything that you do uniquely, Jason, again, when it comes to fostering that loving connection with your wife? I know there's a lot, but maybe one specific.
I do my best every morning before I get out of bed to lean over, to hug her, and to tell her at least two reasons I love her. And I
Mm,
try to not have it be the same every day, but that woman is my strength. She is my reason to live. She is the breath in my lungs, and I need to tell her that.
mm, beautiful, man. Love that. You crushed those happy hustle hacks. Now I'm going to put you through the rapid fire round and then we'll wrap this interview up. And this is just where I ask you random things and you answer
Let's
honestly.
go.
First thing that comes to mind. Are you ready?
Bring it.
Okay. Favorite food? Go.
Pizza.
Favorite movie?
Shawshank Redemption.
Favorite book?
The Bible.
What's your spirit animal?
The bull.
Best business advice?
Ask questions.
Three things you're most grateful for today.
My wife, my son, and my daughter.
And if you had a billboard for the world to see with your last piece of content on there, what does that billboard read?
Never give up.
Damn, crush that rapid fire round, Jason. And listen, brother, I just want to take a moment to acknowledge you truly for sharing your love, your light, your wisdom, your story of happy hustling through trials and tribulations, and for just being a great embodiment of a masculine male who's in touch with his emotional side and operating at the highest level, both personally and professionally. I see you, man. I appreciate you and thank you for spotlighting, um, you know, a great path for others to follow. So thank you.
It's an honor. Thank you for the space. Thank you for the airtime, and to the community. You got an incredible man leading you here, and just lean into him, listen to his words. He's got lots of wisdom. He says them fast. Listen fast, rock and roll.
Thank you, brother. I received that and appreciate it. Where can people find you personally best online? Where do you hang out most?
LinkedIn.
LinkedIn.
That's where I spend most of my time, is on LinkedIn. I try to avoid the rest of the socials so I can be present at home.
Gotcha. Okay, so we'll link that up in the show notes. Jason Bronstad, and then if you had to tie a bow on everything we talked about for the happy hustlers, just what is that message that you want to leave them before I ask you the final question?
You can choose to grind and be miserable, or you can choose to live a intentional life, doing things you love with people you love, and find happiness. Go find the happiness.
Yeah, man. Well said. Final question I ask all my guests, Jason, is what does happy hustling mean to you?
It means going to find that thing that lights you up from the inside, where you actually can go inspire others to go live a good life.
Mic drop. Jason Bronstad, thank you so much, everyone, for watching and listening. We are out. Peace and love, everybody.